I think whoever's the fucking anonymous person that's fucking saying this should fucking come out and say who they were and
say it with your chest.
This humbled Shedeur Sanders thing, I know it's a lie. Shedeur Sanders is already taking over Cleveland. They got, gosh dang, baseball players throwing up the wrist. He's officially the #1 best-selling rookie jersey as the 5th round, 144th pick. He's out there in the town. He's got the aunties going crazy. And now it looks like Travis Kelce is defending him. And it looks like Shannon Sharpe is defending him from Cam Newton. I know some of y'all wanted me to react to the Cam Newton take. We'll get into it depending on how this Uncle Shannon Sharpe defending going against Cam does. And if it goes good, y'all like it, we'll do a full thing. And I'll really get at Cam because Cam is the last person to talk about Shedeur Sanders being humbled of all people. But let's hop right into it, man. Like you can see, they throwing up the wrist. I don't know how baseball does it. They copyrights. I ain't even going to play the game. I'm just going to go. We're going to slow it down for you, right? So, boom. That boy hit one of them yoppers. That boy hit one of them dingers. Whatever. I don't watch baseball. I'm sorry. Hit one of them gosh dang nuclear weapons over the dang 5th foot 500 feeters. And he says, hey, yo, look at my wrist. Y'all know who do that. Y'all know who do that. And y'all know who's in the city. Y'all know who's #1. Y'all know what he do. Here's a little snippet of him actually getting some throwing in. You know what I'm saying? Interesting enough, they've been posting them, doing small workouts. They've been posting doing, showing up, and obviously that's the quarterback coach for Cam Ward and Shedeur. Obviously they've been posting a few different things, but they haven't been posting in depth about the actual workout. So that's interesting. I would love to see some more about that. But let's hear what Travis Kelce had to say about, of course, the anonymous report. Everybody knows about it. Day before the draft. Hey, awful. He's arrogant. He's entitled. All these other things right the day before the draft to ensure that look, it made a lot of people take him off the board. What is an NFL great?
I think whoever's the fucking anonymous person that's fucking saying this should fucking come out and say who they were and
say it with your chest.
Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, if you're gonna fucking leak that type of shit, fucking be the one that says that, yeah, it just didn't go well for us. Don't fucking say that we're anonymous. That's so fucking lame. Like I don't know. I just feel like there's no validity to it. I'm not sure why he dropped. I'm not sure, whether it was the interviews or whether it was stuff that they saw on film. What I saw on film, I thought he was a way higher pick. And I think that's all that should matter. And I mean, it doesn't seem like he's a terrible person. It seems like he's just a motivated football player.
Look, and if y'all don't know, I had to, because some people be copyrighted. That's why I had to put either something else on the TV or sorry, on the screen while you watch this, or, we look at other things while it goes on just because I don't want to get no copyright issues. But more specifically, what I want to talk about is that is such an interesting take because it's been a very consistent take from a lot of the NFL guys, right? I think it's extremely telling when all of the NFL players are on his side, right? Now, this is a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. David Njoku is having his, what's it called, second annual softball game. He says year 2 will be legendary. So I think we know what's going to happen there. We got a local Browns guy saying, since Shedeur slid in the draft, he arrived in Cleveland to put in work, went out in the community to learn about our city, gave his time to local kids to help inspire and make a difference. These are the actions of a franchise quarterback. Some would say he wants to be QB1. So, and again, it's not just that NFL. It's not just Njoku tweet. It wasn't just Patrick Mahomes who tweeted out during the draft. It's also Malik Neighbors. He had some choice words defending Shedeur's in a different way, and Melo even said it was an attack on Prime. Let's hear it.
Being a projected top 10 pick, you know what I mean, to being chosen in the 5th round, you know what I mean. Speak a little bit on that.
You don't do that to somebody like that. You can't knock his talent. You can't knock about. I heard a lot of things about. He take unnecessary sacks. I mean, he had a battle line. He threw with a 70 percentage. With a battle line. Talk about his escaping the pocket. You can pull up plenty of clips of him escaping 3 to 4 tackles, throwing it down the field.
Yep.
Most of his receivers had over 8 to 7 touchdowns, 7 to 8 touchdowns. He played with Travis Hunter. He won the Belinikov. Some things you just can't knock. Like, come on, bro. Like, we gotta stop making feelings with how people play linger. Like, yeah, he might have some things that he might say on camera, off the field. Whatever was dealing with that don't have to do with how he plays football.
Mm-hmm.
We here for one thing, and that's to play football. They got everybody got different personalities. You never gonna meet somebody that got the same personality anywhere. Like, you can't mix that. We all made different. So for them to judge him on just the things that he say or how he carry himself, bro, how he carry himself is all about how his dad raised him
and designed.
And they
that.
know Dion. We all know Dion, bro. Come on now. We all know Dion. They was just doing that just to, to show how they bigger than what he wanted to stand for. And I understand that, but you don't do that. You don't do that. Like, not to a kid like that been working their whole life, been told that Dion's kids was never gonna be as good as him, and he plays quarterback. Dion played corner, so Dion not really teaching them about quarterback. He played a different position.
Yep.
So for them to do that, bro, I lost a little bit of respect for it because just what the black youth stand for right now. We trying to make it a big thing, especially to be a black quarterback.
Yep.
And to try to take that bigger than what it is. Like nowadays, in my division, we got 4 black quarterbacks. That's never been done.
Yep.
We got a lot of black quarterbacks who win Super Bowls right now. It's never been done. So that's the next generation, and I kind of feel bad for how that happened to him because he really played his ass off, and he took it from a different level. He went to Jackson State, and then he did what he did at Jackson State. Bought that program, brought a lot of people to Jackson State that never knew about Jackson State, about football.
Put him on the map.
Changed a lot of family
lives. Then went to Colorado, where nobody was even looking at Colorado like that, and having all these people look at them play and do what he did,
prime time,
and then do him like that. Like, come on, bro. Y'all know y'all weren't supposed. This boy was the talk of the top 2 quarterbacks in his class. There's no way in hell he go fit around.
This is the part of the game that's whack. We're always talking about the dark side of sports. This is an attack at prime.
Yo, I can't, like, I want to stress this. It's not just that these players are speaking out, right? It's that it's a pretty consistent thing every single time you're hearing, right? We keep hearing that, and we hear a lot of passion, right? Obviously, we had Travis Kelce was dropping F-bomb. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you. I'm not gonna take it different. But he dropping these F-bombs, and you know what I'm saying? Whatever, blah blah blah. It's just like, it's okay if it's a one-off thing, but then you got Malik Neighbors saying stuff, and then you got Njoku saying stuff, and then you got Patrick Mahomes saying stuff, and then you have Sean Payton being pretty animated when talking about this. So this doesn't seem like the only people who are rejoicing in the humbling of Shedeur are only people who haven't met Shedeur Sanders or might have a reason to not like Deion Sanders, Chris Carter. But it all seems like they're all just like defending. Pat McAfee was defending Shedeur Sanders, and shout out to Shedeur because he was actually defending Will Howard whenever those crazy clips came out. But people don't want to bring that up. I just, you know what I'm saying, like that. So somehow that missed the meetings. Now I will say, before we go any further, I do want to clarify some things. And the clarification is that, again, the reporter was that the bad thing in the interview was that he wasn't good on the whiteboard. And if you don't understand, I think that kind of aligns with the things that we're talking about. Again, Deion Sanders is the man who showed up to the draft, and when the Giants obviously asked him to take a psycho test or whatever, like not a psycho test, but like a psychology test, whatever, intro test to be on the team. He just said, I'm not doing it. He said, y'all picking past the 10th. I'm not doing it, right? So when you think about that, because I think Malik Neighbors made a great point, not just about Deion Sanders being a cornerback and then Shedeur being a quarterback and how that kind of differed XYZ, but also like the eras are different, right? And obviously the level of talent too. But I would be, sorry, I just smacked the mic. I would be hard pressed to believe that Deion didn't tell Shedeur, hey, don't let these try to punk you. Don't let them try to get you on, you know what I'm saying? When they released oh my God, are they going to release the interview? I just thought about that because you know how like the Jaden Daniels thing was released? Oh man, I don't know if they're going to do all that, but what's it called? Sorry, that would be crazy if you see it. If he really did some nasty shit, I don't know. But what they're saying is that the whiteboard was the problem. And it would make sense that if Deion told Shedeur, hey, don't let them try to get you on one of them TikToks or whatever. It try to get you on one of them clicks to make you a media thing. Maybe that went off on the wrong way. I'm just, I'm trying to be as many Occam razors to this as possible. Did Shedeur probably mess up and wasn't as prepared? Yeah, but the reason, right, was he has an NFL entrenched father who probably was telling him, hey man, don't do that. They should be looking at film. They should be looking at talent. They should be looking at XYZ. Not everybody sees it that way. And again, his perspective is a little bit outdated. I mean, look, man, I was back in the must be the money day. So like, you know what I mean? Like it just was actually predated that. So it's a little different situation. Sorry for my awful singing. But let's get into this Shannon and Ocho reacting to Cam. Again, Cam of all people. We're only gonna get into like 5 minutes of it, and then I'll yap for a second. But what does it's interesting that Shannon is defending Cam here, but let's see what
Your
happens.
CEO, Ocho, do you agree with this?
I mean, in a sense, a little bit.
Took on a persona
I messed up.
for Sanders, or you're gonna make Ocho cry.
They gonna make Ocho cry. Hey, Ocho don't. Shannon don't play with them.
Cam Newton.
So
Cam Newton calls out Shedeur Sanders for acting like a DB and being too loud. Lead with work, not clout. He took on a persona of a DB. DB, you're able to do certain things. You can speak loud, be rambunctious, and have bravado. As a quarterback, you're CEO. Ocho, do you agree with this?
I mean, in a sense, a little bit. In a sense, that a little bit. You got to conduct yourself a certain way at that specific position. At that specific position, you got to conduct yourself a certain way. You got to carry yourself a certain way. You got to talk a certain way. PC almost. I kind of even don't like it, but obviously you're not in there yet. You're not there yet. You haven't made it yet. So once you get there, if anything, you got to play the game a little bit. You got to play the game a little bit. This is why I love Lamar Jackson so much. Lamar Jackson has been Lamar Jackson since Louisville. Lamar Jackson has been Lamar Jackson since he was at Boynton High School. So Lamar Jackson, even in the NFL, he's still Lamar Jackson. He hasn't changed to conform to the ways in which they say a quarterback should be. In talk, in dress, he's remained authentically himself. So Shedeur, his approach to the game is a little bit different. He's a little bit more flashy, a little bit. He has a little bit more aura and bounce to him and pizzazz that just it comes with him. It comes with the last name in general. That's just who he is. And you understand what you get, and I understand what Cam is talking about, and Cam is one also. He didn't change who he was. He didn't change who he was. He was authentically himself, and he remained that way. And he played at a very high level, but he didn't become that until he already got in the league. Yeah. So Shedeur comes with the camera and the lights and the glitz and glamour already. He has it all before he even got to the NFL. So it's hard to tone that down and then bring it back out. But listen, he in there now. So the sky's the limits. Sky's the limits.
Joe, what's their basketball equivalent? Who is a situation that in the basketball they would like, braggadocious, outgoing, flash, a lot of stuff. We'll see.
All right. We don't need Shannon goddamn stuttering through. I stutter enough, son. I don't want to hear about basketball. I want to hear about football. So they're not gonna talk about football. Let's see if we can get Shannon's take on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what makes you think if we ain't got money to repair, what good is being smart if we live it like this?
Hey.
We ain't smart enough to fix the screen door.
Hey.
Come out with a handyman. You got a handyman in there?
I remember them days, boy.
Yeah.
We all deal with.
We ain't about no damn encyclopedias. I mean, dictionary. They come out selling encyclopedias and dictionaries. Would you like to buy some? Lady, please.
Basketball
hey,
to plumber?
does it look like somebody here doing homework? I'm just asking you.
Okay. All right, man.
I get what Cam's saying that, you won't. Here's the thing, Ocho. If I'm auditioning for a job, it all depends on what type of job I'm trying to get.
Okay.
I mean, some jobs are going to require you to wear a shirt and tie on the interview.
Yeah.
Some jobs you can go in and maybe you got a college shirt. That's good enough. What job am I trying to get will determine the type of behavior that I'm going to display on said interview. Agree?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
Because, hey, I'll tell the story. Ocho, my grandma was in the hospital. She said, baby, prop me up because I want to fool him so I can get out of here quicker. She said, my baby, prop me up. I'm going to fool him. I'm like, Granny, you can't fool him. Yeah, I'm going to fool him. They see me sitting up here talking to y'all. They going to say, yeah, let her go.
She good. Hey, that's funny.
Don't worry about Ocho. They never let her go. She stayed. She ended up from the hospital to the facility.
Yeah.
And her thing was, she said, woo, Libby, you know what I want? What that, Granny? She said, I sure like to go to the house one more time.
All right. Stop. Can we talk about football? I don't know what he was talking about, but what Ocho was saying. Again, I think Ocho was making some good points. I think that Cam was making some good points in retrospect, but I think the issue that people are having with Cam Newton, of all people, saying that Shedeur Sanders needs to humble himself, that he needs to do X, Y, Z, is the fact that he talks about it. He talks about starting his career doing that, being humble, suppressing himself. And then he was like, oh, wait, it doesn't matter. I'm winning. I'm going 15-1. They're still making fun of me. They're still saying this. They're still saying you're celebrating too much because you're hitting the dab. That was a crazy time. That was a crazy year in the NFL. But like, and you reflect back on that by saying that, and then I wanted it to be more out and boisterous. The man of many hats came out. The man of the hair. I don't know, the wick dreadlock thingamadoohickeys that you had going on over there. I wasn't mad at it. I was a defender of Cam Newton. I was like, yo, dog, this is an MVP player. I felt the same way that I think Cam felt, where it's just like, did he not earn this? You take the Panthers of all teams to the Super Bowl at that time, who were, synonymous with sadness and misery. 15-1 record, MVP. Like, you can't take away the MVP. You can't take away the 15-1. People can joke about him not jumping on that thing on the fumble, and clearly it eats Cam Newton up a lot because he said that was a turning point in his career. But you're not going to deny that Cam Newton is an NFL great. Like, that's just is what it is. But if you are going to go on record saying that, oh yeah, after that moment, I realized that people still aren't going to accept me. They're still not giving me what I need. So I need to be more boisterous. I need to allow myself. And then, of course, the ramifications came for that. And it was interesting because you sat in those ramifications. You sat in those, I wouldn't say problems, but scrutiny from the media. Jokes and hats and whatever, yada, yada, yada. The weird font that you use, that you created, right? So we're talking about that, outwardly speaking, compared to someone in Shedeur Sanders who, we're talking about, again, whiteboard. That's why I reminded y'all, we're talking about the whiteboard. This humbled Shedeur Sanders thing, I know it's a lie and it's a fake, and I know y'all just don't watch a lot of the content. Y'all don't watch his interviews. Y'all don't watch his game. Y'all don't watch Well Off Media. There's plenty of content there for y'all to watch. Either y'all not watching or y'all just being ignorant. Because it never comes off as arrogant. He's never come off as entitled. Maybe as a little, funny. Maybe as a little, maybe confident. Maybe a little bit of, what I'm saying, jokingly brashness. I can see brash. I can see brash. I'm not mad at that. But arrogance and entitlement, like, dog, they just joking and stuff all the time, man. Y'all try to spin the Cam Moore video into something it wasn't. Y'all try to spin everything that is something that it wasn't. So I think for you, Cam Newton, to also spin it into this conversation of, well, he needs to be humbled and he's got to, not talk and all this other stuff. I don't remember when he did that. I remember when a quarterback was talking that hot shit to him, talking about, and the coach was talking about his dad on Instagram, and he shook every single other player's hand except that Colorado State player. I remember that. Oh, but what about the Texas Tech thing? Yeah, I remember the Texas Tech ball boy knocking out of somebody's hand. Oh, but he's the ball boy. I don't know you. Exactly, you're a ball boy. You're not a football player, dog. I don't know if you knew that. You don't have a helmet on. So how about take 3 steps back? I promise you can get the ball back. I promise you. Yeah, so let's smack it out of his hand. You're not going to, no. Yeah, y'all not going to paint these small instances that y'all have in these out of context moments and then say, oh, brash and arrogant. Because that's what they do to, I ain't got enough time, man. Y'all be amazing. Y'all be great. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't like it. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Do you agree with Cam? Do you disagree with Shane? I don't know what that lawsuit got Shane just talking about you. I don't know, man. Subscribe if you enjoy the content, man. We'll see you next time. Keep being great. I know you are great. Just keep it up, man.